earlier this week, we were talking about Jenna Ortega's recent interview with Vanity Fair, in which she condemned Hollywood's touchy-feely, political correct culture. She said that political correctness isn't honest, and interestingly, she was saying that in reference to her co-star on Scream 7 getting fired for her public comments about Palestine. And her decision ultimately to leave Scream 7 afterwards. But in the same interview with Vanity Fair, apparently she talked about one of the best pieces of advice she's ever received from a mentor. It pertains to her own self-doubt and insecurities whenever she is tackling a new challenge. And all the actor has to do in those situations is think like the average white man. I wrote a quote in context.
I wrote a really long response to what that meant last night and just deleted it because my brain was rotting on politics. I said what she believes is that Joe Schmo 32 Electric Boogaloo who works in a cubicle, right? He walks around every day. Okay, I can't use that language. He walks around every day as if he is the best, most competent person on planet Earth. He never has a shred of self-doubt. He walks into every day like he's Steph Curry shooting a three-pointer.
Yeah. They think that all white men are treated like they're the president.
No, also that they all think that
they all think
correct.
that they are important.
Which is just so ridiculous and far from any form of reality.
Yes. Obviously, yeah. I mean, she lives in a bubble, so I wouldn't expect her to know any better, but this was her full quote. She said, the show I do right now, Wednesday, I have to play the cello, and I don't play the cello. I want it to look real so that cellists don't look at it and call me mean names. My teacher told me that as long as I look confident in my movements and I was strong and stoic and fully embodied the character, it would be fine. She told me that I just needed to approach everything I do in life with the confidence of the average white man. That changed my life. That made me feel better.
So it's top down, right? It's coming from the people that are informing you as well.
She said, I was nervous even to do this interview because I ramble like crazy. Like, what am I going to talk about this whole time? Then I just remembered, how would an average white man do this? And he probably would have shown up with mismatched socks.
It's so condescending and rude, and it's just baked into the culture. Like they don't, like I said, there's 40 years of Hollywood of white people making self-deprecating jokes and laughing at it. The example I always give is there's this scene in an episode of Arrow where Oliver Queen hosts a jail party where everyone comes up as if they're in jail, and John Diggle comes in and goes, white people. Like, okay, it's funny, right? But the point is that type of self-deprecating humor is built into the culture, and it's far more nefarious than a funny joke in a television show. It's designed to make you look at them as if they're some type of oppressor who thinks very highly of themselves without actually knowing whether that person you're referring to, because they're not talking about individuals, they're trying to, paint everybody with the same brush. And you don't know if anybody actually feels that way. I would be willing to bet that most don't, that self-doubt transcends race and sexuality.
Yeah,
people
it's
are
human.
Individual.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's just human nature.
Yep.
Well, people were tempted to believe that Jenna Ortega is secretly based and she's actually against the Hollywood establishment and, political correctness that would go into that. But I just think, why do you need to like Jenna Ortega to like Wednesday?
Yes.
You don't
True.
you don't, or to like anything she's in. Why do you need to think that she likes you to like a movie she's in or a TV show? It
depends on whether
why do you need that internally?
Some people take the approach that they feel that celebrities that share values that they disagree with excludes them from wanting to watch those projects, right? It depends on whether you take a clinical approach or a personal approach to the entertainment that you consume. And a lot of people in this space prefer the personal approach.
That
they
would
don't
prevent you from watching almost everything.
Yep.
pretty much. And even after that, even if you think that somebody aligns with you on your foundational values, you probably find out 10 years later that they were actually a terrible person behind the scenes.
Stop treating them like people. They're mildly interesting stories that you analyze and make assessments on. You should never attach yourself
Also,
in
like,
any way to celebrities.
We were talking about the controversy of Jenna Ortega changing lines in Wednesday because they wrote lines that she believed didn't make sense with Wednesday's character and who she knows this character to be. So she refused to say certain things and changed things while they were filming. And then we got a comment, I think, that said, like, she prevented a lot of the woke dialogue from making it into the final cut of the show. And I'm like, okay, I remember lines about the patriarchy that were delivered by Jenna Ortega. So how does that really make any sense? And I just looked this up. The actual quote from Wednesday in one of the episodes is, "Men don't know what it's like to not be believed." And then she also called chivalry a tool of the patriarchy in the show. I overlooked that because I liked the show.
Right.
But she said those lines because she agreed with them.
Yeah, the line she changed, I remember, like, when she gets the dress for that dance, they wanted her to say, "Oh, how pretty." And she was like, no, Wednesday would not say that. And I agree with her.
Like, OMG, I love this dress.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not Wednesday's character.
No.
So what it really is, and what I think people, I don't need, in fact, I brought up Jenna Ortega today. And I said, I'm sure she votes differently than me, but I have respected her because she's kind of a throwback to an old star that stays off social media, that doesn't make a lot of comments. And I think that's what's actually that helps her appeal.
It does.
Because it keeps her mysterious to a degree.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. I think it's helped her.
Bring back mystery.
Yeah.
To movie stars.
Yeah, the moment you got instant access to celebrities,
It cheapens
images gone.
it.
I actually remember there was like a porn star who was like, "Why would you want to know my political opinions? I'm supposed to be a fantasy. You shouldn't care who I vote for. That's weird."
yeah.
Yeah, it is weird.
If the porn star is calling you weird,
If they're the voice of
reevaluate.
reason in society,
Yes.
you have a lot to worry about.
Yeah. But she's a capitalist. She's like, I don't want to limit my fan base based on who I vote for. That's
But really, like,
insane.
mainstream actors should think the same way.
Yes,
And
they should.
Because that's smart.
like,
Yes.
Jenna Ortega at least appears to have a measure of integrity above the rest of her industry.
and better spoken.
Yeah.
And
Not
seems
like-
seemingly more intellectual.
I think she's, like, actually woke. Like, she's not pretending to be woke for woke points. She actually believes these things.
Like, she's genuine.
But that's genuine. That's
Right.
honest. And when she disagrees with something, she's going to walk away, like with Scream 7. And also, like, she just seems to be more intelligent. Like, she's
Yeah.
probably just more intelligent than most people in Hollywood.
Right.
Like, I can tell that she has a good sense for business, but also she's really talented at acting, which I can't say the same for Sydney Sweeney.
That's okay though. Sydney Sweeney is fantastic at business, and that's all you need to do.
Yeah, like, she's got half of
isn't
it.
the business.
She's got half of
gonna
it
be
down.
fine.
Yeah.
She's gonna be fine.
But, like, yeah, Jenna Ortega she does seem like she just has a better way of expressing her ideas that doesn't come off as, I guess, as venomous as others. Even though, like, this offhand comment she made about average white men did have, like, contempt within it. I think that she was just better at expressing it than most people would be.
They say that you should never meet your heroes, right? But the problem is you should never make heroes out of actors or anyone in Hollywood. There's a reason why, in times past, actors were looked at as the scum of the earth. If you were performing for the king, you were the lowest of the low.
Yeah. Like, don't put them on a pedestal.
Never. Like, it's
Why
one
is that
thing,
so hard for people to understand?
It's one thing if you idolize some civil rights leader. I would still argue that idolizing anyone you don't actually know personally is crazy. But it's another thing. It's one thing to idolize somebody who's apparently did all this great stuff for society, and then you find out they're a philanderer and they cheat on their wife or something like that. That's a little bit different. But in general, you should not hold somebody you can't actually vet personally in such high regard. You can tacitly approve of things they've done, like if they've done good for society, but to idolize them is insane.
Yes.
We're all just human.
I will say for Jenna, I know back, like, this came out like well over a year ago. the artist guy in season 1, the white guy. He had
What was his?
we all forget. He was kind of
There were two.
But there were two. But not the one, spoiler alert, that ends up being bad, but the other one.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, unless I read wrong information, she did, like, an allegation came against him, and I did appreciate that she didn't distance herself from him, but took up for
Percy
him.
Hines White was
But
his name,
he was
right?
removed from season 2.
He was,
Right.
which I doubt. You wonder what control she had on that. But I at least appreciated that it wasn't an immediate
That she didn't
distance.
back away like so many do in
an
that
executive
situation.
producer now on the show. So I'm wondering if she did have anything to do with him getting axed from the show.
Maybe, because sometimes like they do that for all big actors, executive producer, but it's kind of a name only a lot of the times.
That
It
is
was crazy because I
on
read
network
into the
television.
accusations and I didn't see anything that was like irrefutable proof.
There wasn't. I
I
don't
mean, that
think.
doesn't matter.
It was like a
in-
rumor
That
about
doesn't matter in
his
Hollywood.
friend group
Yeah.
doing things that were gross.
Yes.
But her audience is uniquely online, right? The audience for Wednesday was it was meme heavy.
they're Gen Z.
But it was meme heavy, right? So
Yeah.
your audience is fitting right into that space where that story was promulgated the most.
Wasn't he also in maybe I'm just confusing them now, but he looks like the guy in
Ansel Elgort.
no, he looks like the guy from Hunger Games
Oh.
Ballad of Songbirds and
Wasn't
Snakes.
he in that? I thought he was in
no,
that.
are you talking about the lead?
Yeah.
No,
but
he's
but
not.
he looks like the guy, doesn't
He's-
he?
That guy's a decent amount more attractive, but
I don't remember. They're all blending together at this point.
but no, it's two separate people.
Yeah, never mind then. But yeah, I think it's normal to idolize a celebrity when you're a child. I just don't understand why adults do
Yes.
it.
Here in this space, I
Yeah.
think it's more just like in the political space, especially. It's like, look at this guy who said the one thing I agree with. Everybody get behind him. He's awesome. He's base. No, stop that. You're weird.
But also, like, don't boycott Reacher because Alan Richson is annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if
It
you,
goes both
Right.
ways.
If you
Yes.
enjoyed it,
Right.
if you enjoyed
Yes.
it, if you enjoy it, you're doing yourself a disservice by removing yourself from being able to enjoy something just because the guy said something stupid that you disagree with.
I guess
people
if
say
it's-
stupid
if
stuff that I
it's-
disagree with every day.
If it's a monetary decision, like don't give money to people who hate you, I understand that more than just like forsaking this person like their entire existence. That's sort of a form of cancel culture on the right that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean they would just call
yeah.
that voting with your wallet, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like I guess do that, but just stop idolizing them and stop
I
looking
mean,
to
Alan
them
Richardson
for.
gets the same paycheck at the end of the day. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
he's not going to be hurting for your viewership. Actually.
I'm never gonna. But that's why we and you are pretty staunch about not being part of the boycott crowd, right? Because I can't attach myself that much emotionally to any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I actually find it crazy that people can.
Yeah.
That they get this emotionally invested in all of it. I'm like, I can get as far as like reading a story about someone, reading the thing she said, being like, huh, that's stupid. And
Yes.
but she's well spoken and she seems smarter than her average colleague. I can appreciate her when she says something smart. I can say that's stupid when she says something dumb. My overall opinion of her is that she's probably as woke, as much as I hate that word, as far left as any young Hollywood actress is these days, and move on with my day. It's not. I'm not going to lose sleep over it either.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is just ridiculous. It's like, I grew up loving Star Wars, still do. I mean, not the new stuff that we've gotten, but it's like, if you look online, Mark Hamill's about as bad as it gets.
Yep.
Like, it's bad, but it doesn't take away my love of him as Luke Skywalker.
It's never
like,
done that to me.
it's never going to do it.
Well, because sometimes you can separate, the art from the artist. Is that what this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the beauty for me is like, look, my brain is just kind of cooked sometimes. And I'm like, I'll watch a movie and I'll be like, I remember that guy vaguely saying something stupid, and then I forget about it because I'm watching the movie.
And he's in
Right?
character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't care.
If you're a
Yes,
good enough
yeah.
actor, I'm not going to remember what you tweeted.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause
Right.
if we did that with like all actors or all even musicians
Or
it's-
each other, all people. We're never going to fully agree with another human being on absolutely everything.
Yes, like I'll be honest, like I'm kind of a Swiftie. Like I enjoy Taylor Swift, but like people are like, how do you like her?
Like, how dare you?
How dare
Doesn't
you?
change the music.
Do I have to vote the same way Taylor does? Do I have to believe everything she believes? No.
Yeah.
And, I don't. I just listen to some of her music. Lay off.
Brett in the chat mentions Robert De Niro as a far leftist.
Exactly. And he's a great actor.
And a
Heat
great
is still a
actor.
masterpiece.
Yep.
Doesn't
yeah.
matter.
And I'm always going to watch him if he's in something good. Like, it is what it is.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.